Hi guys, and welcome to another The Beginner Experience video. Today we will talk about characters and specifically about the easiest and the best one to farm as a free-to-play player or beginner and returning player. We will split these videos in three parts. We'll talk today about the green or energy one, and the one that I want to focus around are the ones that are achievable easily for a free-to-play player and more focused on the beginner part of the free-to-play players. So the ones that are available in the very first 3 or 4 chapter here, and there will be Hal Jordan that has 3 nodes, Cyborg here, Hal Jordan, and Flash here, Cyborg. You may notice that Sinestro has one node, has 2 nodes, and SSS Lex, this guy here, has a bunch of nodes, but as much as Lex is one of the most interesting guys that you can have as a beginner because he has a leadership ability just at rank 4, so 4 star. He is not that useful in the end game, while the other 3 I am suggesting are way better. And I will focus on the one that are available from the Alliance shop here in the common slot, so Flash, or in the PvP pack here. So in the common slot, here we have Chemo, SSS Lex, and Cyborg. And one that you may more slowly grind or farm is Arcus, farmable here into Red Alert. Does the 4 green I'm going to suggest you to focus on as a returning player that started and then quit the game long ago, or a beginner player and a free-to-play obviously, are these 4. Hal Jordan will be one of the 2 leads that you will have as a beginner that are worth even in the end game, while Cyborg and Flash are 2 kind of guys that as soon as you unlock their higher ranks, or especially the very first legendary rank, they fall in the category of a character that snowball. This means that they will start racking up buffs over buffs, or taking turns over turns, giving you an edge over your opponents. And as you may see, there's Arcus Chamak, which is an awesome character to play with a Green Lantern, because his kit is focused about him being shielded before attacking and getting bonuses if he's shielded or not. So just for these green guys here, you may focus on those 4, spending your Alliance energy or the PvP pack. I suggest you to buy the 7 shard hero pack because it's the most convenient one, and if you get some of the uncommon or rare, it's just gravy. You will maybe save those shards for later, and when we will talk about the red one, you will notice that Huntress from the PvP pack, or Harlequin Magister and Arrow or Cheetah from the Alliance pack are all good pick for us. So just to recap it, you can farm them into the Alliance shop. I strongly suggest you, if you don't already have one, find an Alliance or made one with your friends. It's not important that you are into top 100. What is important is that you can rack up some alliance essence point um, and spend them on what you choose to. So you can farm Al Jordan from the PvE nodes here, and you will see if I can go over there. Yeah, I should. Yep. I can't. I cannot use the find button because of this rank up covering up my Al Jordan. But he has a bunch of nodes. It would have been easily shown there. But he has the very first node in the game, the heroic one. He has the last node of chapter 2. And he has another node here in chapter 3 and one in 4. I suggest you to just farm the very first 3 chapter, which are easiest to come by. But if you are, let's say, doing the heroic daily event for your alliance, you maybe want to, let's say, get most of your bucks and spending some time into the chapter 4 or 5 that have the same cost. So here you can farm even more shards for cyborg or whatever. And this should be easy or at least doable for a beginner as soon as you have the core character that you are gonna gearing up accordingly to my, let's say, previous advices. And this is it for the green one or energy. If we are gonna talk about the physical or red one, the one I suggest you to farm are those 4s. Let me clear. Liquid Magister, Huntress, Green Arrow, and Deadshot. They are all common into the Alliance or PvP pack, or in the case of Deadshot he is uncommon, but you can find him into the Red Alert, as Huntress is able to be found there. Liquid Magister and Iaga is found there too, and is one of the best leaders you can have against the various Wonder Woman led team or heavy blue composition, because he allows you to let's say weaken them both by strength and agility, so defenses and attack, or you can use Deadshot, granting as soon as you can some critical chance hit or 100 critical chance hit if you have the legendary point in him. And all those characters are still good, let's say maybe beside Huntress, which is phased out because there are better, she just does DPS. There are better DPSer, for example Robin or Bane, but they are all used in endgame content, maybe Red Alert or PvP or PvE. As I said, Green Arrow is one of the best leader that you can find, and you can farm Red and Green Arrow from the Alliance pack, from Red Alert, as you can farm Liquid Magister, and they all have a bunch of nodes in the very first 3 to 5 chapter. And here he is Arrow, Huntress, Liquid Magister, and again in the 4th we have again Huntress, Arrows, Liquid Magister here. There's a point when you may want to gear up your Bane, and he is a good character to have. He is used in a lot of composition in Gear 11 and endgame content, but I wouldn't suggest for a beginner to just go in there because the most farming the characters from the nodes is not the most efficient way to farm character. The most efficient way is with this 7 shards pack. So you want to focus on characters that are available here. And that's the only reason I'm not suggesting Bane or Batman CC. Both are a good damage dealing character with a couple of nodes or 4 into the very first chapter. But again, as much as they do a lot of damage, they don't have any special skill set that allow you to be considered must-have later on. As I said, a case can be done for Bane. I don't really like him because it's just that it's slow and is easily controllable in the end game, but many players are loving him for its random attack. The issue is that he just needs high level legendary status, so before L2 he's not that good. He's playable even at not legendary level, but the point is that the more that he's one of these kind of characters that benefits more from the highest legendary level. And so that's it for the red. Deadshot is your go-to leader because you will get a lot of shards for him at the start of the game, and again, as being easily farmable into red alert will mean that he will probably be the first one you will get to a R5 or more. And when you get to his legendary leader that allows him to give everyone in your team for the first turn 100% crit chance, you will go way faster in your PvP or PvE. That's just so good. And the last category of character we are not gonna talk about are the blue or mystical. For the mystical, it's a little bit trickier because we don't know as long as we will keep the character in red alert. But I would suggest you to farm those characters. So the issue here is that Cheetah is one of the best characters and free-to-play that you can find. But as you may have noticed from the shop here, she is the only good blue available in this pack as a common. There are way more physical or energy character, and just her as a mystical. She's one of the best bleeder in the game. She can pack a punch because she does a lot of damage with her two, and the bleeds that she applies when you start getting to higher legendary cannot miss or whatever. And she has one of the best skill in the game, which is this one that allows your team to gain 25% turn meter, which means that you will probably speed up all your characters on turn 1. You will end up using this going before your opponents, giving you the edge on, let's say, some fights that may be harder if you don't have her. And as I said, she is just one of the best bleeders in the game. She has so many synergies with the bleeds, and as an enabler is one of the most important character in the game. And the other character that I was suggesting have some, let's say, issues. Z is one of the only leaders, the healers that you will find when you start your gaming. She has just one node in chapter 1 and one node in the second one. This is the one in chapter 1 and this is one in the second, and she's not available everywhere else, but you will be given some shards of her as of an unlock from the start of the game, and she's the one carrying you into the campaign, helping your guys be alive. And she won't pan that well into the end game, because she has some cool moves with um, purges or true heals. But the issue is that she is slow, and there are other characters that do her job better, like Enchantress, which start the game with an overheal, or Swamp Thing. So, or let's not talk about Mira or other healers. So she is just there for your red alert, your very first PvP experience, and your events, your PvE events. Um, the other two characters are harder to come by, and I could have added the POT as just one node. But if you can find, you can farmer. She's one of those characters that you will end up playing into the end game, into PvP, high level PvP, if you ever end up there. So is one thing due to his recent rework. The issue with the POT is that she has just one node, the last of chapter 3, and she's not available somewhere else. So when I was, let's say, thinking about who to suggest about this one, I was more oriented to Siren, but she has a similar issue, being a character for an event of long time ago and no longer available beside the rare shards from the PvP packs and red alert. So you may keep in mind that both she and POT are good candidates for this spot. And the last one is Swamp Thing, which is not currently farmable beside Red Alert. So the issue is that the easily farmable one are just those two, leaving the mystical side as the weakest one that you can, let's say, get. And as I said, you may end up being lucky and get Siren from those packs, but she's in the rare spot, so I'm not even considering Katana or Blue Beetle or Hippolyta. And that's it. So just to recap, the best way to farm characters is by buying the 7 pack, which are the 3.5k pack into the Alliance one, because the ratio for hero and cost is the best one, or just the big arena pack for 350. All the commons are good. Chemo has the ability to solo some content in higher gear. SS Lex, even though we are not talking about him, has the only leadership ability at rank 4, so he may be your first leader, and he has some uses into the later content. But again, I would suggest you to just get what you get and do your red alert daily. It's of the uttermost importance that you do it daily, and it's pretty one of the best way to get some shard, because you will get some rarer content shard, let's say Captain Cold, Killer Frost, or whatever. And when you will start getting to some, let's say, good status, and you will achieve higher PvP ranks, you may end up getting into rank 10,000 and getting 7 shards each week, or 90 shards each week, which is something good to achieve. And when you get to that point, you will have the ability to get, let's say, different character, and ease your farming of them. And if you are a starting player, you may not end up completing the boards clear every week, every day, but this is another way to rack up some shards. So quick recap, I will try and put them here. So here you may have Siren, or from Red Alert, or POT. Where are you, POT? Or POT. All those characters besides Z are used in endgame and in meta teams. The combo with Cheetah and Siren is so good because they will snowball auto control. For the energy one, I will suggest those with Cyborg and Flash used mostly for PvE content, and Al Jordan and Harkis more into the whole spectrum, Red Alert or PvP. They are both used into Gear 11 content without any problem in PvP. And the last one will be the red one, or physical, and I suggest you your Huntress, Green Arrow, and yes. And the case can be done again for Bat CC and Bane. Batman CC in Gear 11 does a lot of damage, as does Bane, but both requires some synergies. For example, Swamp Thing for Bane, or Clayface for Batman CC, or stuff like that, or high legendary points. So I wouldn't suggest those if you are just starting the game, while every one of these is easily farmable with PvP points or alliance points or red alert, and they have a bunch of nodes into PvE that you can farm. And about the farming thing, I would suggest you that when you are doing your alliance event for the PvP days, you ignore the farming of the node, and you start by doing those 12 nodes every day, and then you choose the one, you cherry pick the one that you want here, up to the, let's say, 30 nodes or 40. I don't know how much you want to push for the PvE content of the Alliance days, and you can cherry pick those, skipping maybe you don't want to farm Bane, or you don't want to farm Sinestro. So you first complete your easy 10 energy nodes that will get you already to 12 nodes, and the remaining 18s for the legendary quest or for the Alliance daily quest are done by chapter 2 and 3. This is for the free-to-play player and starting one. Obviously, if you are someone that spends gems on the game and have the resources to play on your PvE day, you can run all the, let's say, Harlequin Jester node, just because you are farming her, and you will farm her 8 node and then her 7 and so on and so on and so on. But you have to choose when to farm if you are a free-to-play player and a beginner. You don't have that many possibilities. So that's it. Those are the very best 12 characters that you can use or farm as a free-to-play player and a beginner one. And as I said, as long as you progress into the content, and as long as you complete your red alert, you will get some rarer character and some good one, and that's it. I hope that it was useful for you. I will link some wonderful job that Ogrebarberian from Oddsmen is doing in giving us some in-depth look at some of those characters. He is continuing his run to, let's say, review every character in the game. So eventually you will get, let's say, a Z in-depth look. He will suggest you some composition, and for example, I could suggest you this early team composition for, let's say, PvP, where you can go like this, or even better, like this. This is a crazy good early on composition that can help you get to a good point into PvP, because you will have Green Lantern giving shield to everyone at the start of the game, thus enabling Arcus, and Cheetah will be the faster of your character, giving strength up to Arcus and Huntress. So Arcus can open being shielded and with some strength up with his issue challenge skill on some opponent threads, kill them in the process, or weaken them enough that you can kill them with Huntress. And when you have the legendary assist from Green Lantern, you will call for an assist, and all of them have good automatic attack, auto attack. So this is just one example of a team that you can compose with those kind of characters that I suggested. Or you may go to a different route, wanting to have, let's say, a more bleeding control route. So you will use some kind of taunter here just to be able to protect your two bleeders. And as the last spot, you may use Swamp Thing, because you can apply more bleeds here. This is an heavy mystical team, but with the synergies that you have with the bleeds, the evasion racked up by Siren, and the evasion for a Harley Quinn, you can end up dismantling your opponent quickly. Or you may go to something like this, where you are guaranteed to get a crit on turn 1. Harley Quinn Majesta will protect your team, and then you will use your Arcus Chin, and where is Cyborg? And this team needs the first turn to, let's say, build up your characters, but you won't lose anything, because as a starting player you will probably won't have the legendary one on that shot. So skipping your first turn in buffing Arcus and Cyborg with Cyborg auto attack and Arcus shields up won't be such a big issue. And on the second turn, giving them 5% crit chance means that the cannon or the issue challenge will probably kill someone else. And these are just some kind of ideas that you can go on with the characters I said for PvP. Or for example, for a PvE content, you may even go with something like this, which is one of the best snowbally team that you can have, where calling an assist for Flash or Cyborg means that they will rack up some speed up for Flash or crit chance up from Cyborg as soon as you get their first legendary point, and or just the hit chance that allow you to use the cannon on Cyborg without having to charge himself first, or use the speed vortex on Flash. Z is here just to provide some healing, helping the shields provided by Green Lantern. So those are some kind of composition with the character suggested, and this is it. Thank you for watching or listening, and see you in the next video. Bye.